Police department in Wisconsin responded to a slew of 911 calls. One caller, Keyshawn Rowley, shared that he was at his girlfriend Leah Davis's apartment and she was shot.
You hear any gunshots?
Over here, over here. Over here? Hey, come here. Lamers. Stand over there. Stand over there. Stand over there. Don't move. I'm not moving, bro. I promised the gun on my soul. I'm not moving, bro.
Officers follow Keyshawn to Leah's apartment, where they find an unresponsive Leah on the floor, blood coming from her head. A third officer arrives, and they apprehend Keyshawn to remove him from the room so they can fully attend to Leah.
I just got her granny and everything. I never.
All right. Just take him outside.
She's got a gunshot wound to the head.
But listen. She told me to go. I was listening. So I came over here, right? I'm literally, she only let me stand right here. Mind you, okay? Listen. Did you listen?
Join me as I dive deep into this shocking case where a man shoots his ex-girlfriend and tries to blame someone else. Can I piece together the truth from the full footage? A recent incident has left the community reeling, and I'm about to take you through the disturbing details. A man shot his ex-girlfriend, and instead of taking responsibility for his actions, he tried to shift the blame onto someone else. The question on everyone's mind is, what really happened? The dynamics of their relationship were complex, to say the least. Reports suggest that the couple had a history of domestic violence, with the ex-girlfriend seeking multiple restraining orders against her former partner. Despite this, they continued to see each other, and their friends and family were often caught in the middle. It's a classic case of a toxic relationship that ultimately turned deadly. The consequences of domestic violence can be devastating, and in this case, it resulted in a tragic shooting that left the community stunned. As we delve deeper into the incident, it's essential to remember the human cost of such actions and the importance of supporting those affected.
Milwaukee man charged with homicide tonight in the shooting death of his ex-girlfriend. Leah Davis died in her apartment at 66th and Lisbon Saturday night. The medical examiner telling us she had 8 gunshot wounds, including one to the head. Prosecutors charged Keyshawn Rowley with first-degree intentional homicide. Prosecutors say Davis's neighbors saw Rowley at the apartment moments before the shooting. The criminal complaint also says Rowley admitted to a friend he shot Davis. Rowley faces life in prison if convicted.
Homicide of a 19-year-old woman here in Milwaukee. Keyshawn Rowley made his first court appearance today. The criminal complaint alleges that Rowley shot and killed Leah Davis Saturday inside of her apartment near 66th and Lisbon. The complaint states that Rowley had previously threatened to kill Davis and himself, and they had recently just broken up. Davis's death highlights what can happen when warning signs of domestic violence go unreported. Sean Gallagher took a look at the case and took it to the Sojourner Family Peace Center.
Milwaukee police tell me over 700 people in the last 2 years were arrested at least twice for domestic violence-related crimes, showing a pattern of repeat offenders. Court records show Keyshawn Rowley had no other domestic abuse run-ins with law enforcement, but the criminal complaint shows friends and neighbors saw many red flags in their relationship.
Our domestic violence homicides are result, and there was no reports of domestic violence prior to that homicide.
I sat down with Captain Lucretia Turner of Milwaukee Police's Sensitive Crimes Division weeks ago, speaking about the difficulties police have in general in facing domestic violence cases.
Some victims, I don't believe, think that, it could end in a fatality. And it may be very apparent to everyone around watching the situation go on.
Keyshawn Rowley.
Wednesday, Keyshawn Rowley was charged for killing his ex-girlfriend, 19-year-old Leah Davis. According to the criminal complaint, there were warning signs. A friend of Davis told police the two had a rocky relationship and said Rowley was possessive and overprotective. That same friend said she would mediate arguments between the two. And a neighbor said she heard them fighting 6 or 7 times in the last few months.
But if you're in a violent relationship where you're noticing possession, over jealousy, violence of any sort, and you separate from the relationship, you can be assured that the violence is going to spike.
Carmen Petrie is the president and CEO of the Sojourner Family Peace Center, an advocacy organization for survivors of domestic violence. I went over the criminal complaint with her on Wednesday. When you went through this complaint, did you see opportunities for there to be a different outcome?
That's a tricky question. What I saw is patterns that I've seen before in other relationships. Jealousy, there had been a breakup, that's common. It is not uncommon for other people to know, but just not know how to intervene. And I put that on us as a society, not on that neighbor or that friend. How have we as a community educated people about resources?
The criminal complaint says 3 weeks after the breakup, Rousey told a friend he killed her. Like, what's the best way for someone to leave an unhealthy relationship?
The best way to get out is individual to yourself. It's your own individual safety plan. That's why that conversation with someone who knows violence and how it can escalate and the safety planning piece is pretty critical.
She really just didn't get to live her life.
19-year-old Leah Davis was a bright light in her family's lives.
She was the sweetest person ever. She didn't bother anyone. She left home trying to be independent, and she was just a sweet girl.
Davis was shot and killed in her apartment on 66th Street and Lisbon Avenue Saturday night. Her family says it was domestic violence that took her life.
All this back and forth trying to kill somebody because they don't want to be with you, it's not worth it.
We have lost too many women in this city.
12 News Investigates reported earlier this week more than 100 women have been killed since 2019 in Milwaukee, and more than a quarter of them were victims of domestic violence.
There was nothing that she wouldn't do for you. It's sad we wasn't here for her.
Now, flowers and balloons met with tears and a warm embrace outside of her apartment Sunday to honor the life Davis left behind.
She would definitely be missed.
In Milwaukee, Courtney Sisk, WISN 12 News.
A heartbreaking situation there. Police do have a suspect in custody. We reached out to the district attorney's office to see if the suspect has been criminally charged yet, but we did not hear back.
The police department in Wisconsin responded to a slew of 911 calls. One caller, Keshawn Rowley, shared that he was at his girlfriend Leah Davis's apartment and she was shot.
You hear any gunshots?
Over here? Hey, come here. Flamers! Stand over there. Stand over there. Stand over there. Don't move.
I'm not moving, bro. I promise to God on my soul, I'm not moving, bro.
Officers follow Keshawn to Leah's apartment, where they find an unresponsive Leah on the floor, blood coming from her head. A third officer arrives, and they apprehend Keshawn to remove him from the room so they can fully attend to Leah.
I just started granny and everything. I never.
All right. Just take him outside.
She's got a gunshot wound to the head.
But listen. She told me to go. I was listening. So I came over here, right? I'm literally. She only let me stand right here. Mind you, okay? Listen. Did you listen?